When you look at a building, have you ever really paused to think about its outer layer? I mean, beyond just whether it looks nice, that skin is not just brick or glass anymore, is it? What if I told you these facade systems, as they're called, are actually these incredibly engineered, really dynamic parts of a building? They're vital for performance, for energy use, even for integrating smart tech. And well, it's a massive global industry, growing fast.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into the global facade systems market. We're working from a really detailed report by Cognitive Market Research, and it covers the period from 2021 right through to 2033. Gives us a fascinating window into where construction is heading.
It really does. And what's striking right off the bat is the sheer scale we're talking about. Just think, in 2021, this market globally was already worth nearly $187 billion. That's $186.897 billion to be precise.
Wow, okay, already huge.
Exactly. But the forecast, it's expected to climb past $253 billion by 2025. And then looking further out to 2033, the projection is a staggering $466 billion, roughly $466.368 billion. So it's basically set to more than double.
Pretty much. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 7.9%, just under 8% per year, sustained over that whole period. This isn't just, steady growth. It signals a booming sector touching pretty much every corner of the world.
A CAGR of nearly 8% on such a huge base.
Yeah.
That's really something. So for this deep dive, we're going to walk you through the key numbers, region by region, country by country. We want to show you where this growth is really accelerating and maybe touch on why it's happening in those specific places. Let's kick things off in North America. Big cities, lots of development. What's the story there for facade systems?
Well, North America is, as you'd expect, a major player already, and it's set for some really substantial growth. Back in 2021, the market there was valued at just over $71 billion. By 2033, the projection is close to $168.5 billion, so again, more than doubling. That's a CAGR of around 7.5%.
Okay, and within North America, the U.S. must be dominant.
Oh, absolutely. The U.S. accounts for the lion's share, expected to hit over $130 billion itself by 2033. But interestingly, Canada actually shows a slightly higher growth rate, just over 8% CAGR, reaching nearly $24 billion.
Any thoughts on why Canada might be growing a bit faster percentage-wise?
It could be several things, maybe stricter energy efficiency codes coming into play, or perhaps a stronger push towards, sustainable building practices in certain provinces. Those often demand more advanced, higher performance facade systems. And Mexico is also a significant contributor, projected to reach almost $14 billion.
Okay, so North America, big market, getting much bigger with some interesting internal dynamics. Let's hop across the pond to Europe now. Different architectural styles, different regulations. What trends are we seeing there?
Europe's another really significant piece of the puzzle, and it's definitely evolving. The market revenue there started at about $39.4 billion in 2021, and it's projected to more than double too, hitting nearly $93 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of roughly 7.45%.
Pretty close to the North American growth rate then. Any standouts within Europe?
Germany really jumps out. It shows a very strong CAGR, around 8.17%, climbing from nearly $7.7 billion to almost $19.6 billion over that period.
Germany at over 8%. That's quite strong. What's the thinking there?
Well, Germany has famously rigorous energy efficiency standards, right? There's a huge focus on high-performance buildings, and that naturally drives demand for advanced, often smart facade solutions that, really contribute to making a building operate efficiently.
Makes sense. And the UK?
The UK also shows solid growth. It's projected to reach over $15 billion by 2033. That's likely being driven by things like urban regeneration projects, plus a growing demand for modern, sustainable architecture.
Right, so regulations and sustainability look like key drivers in Europe. Okay, let's shift now to Asia Pacific. We always hear about the pace of construction there, the urbanization. I'm expecting some big numbers. What's underpinning the growth?
You're absolutely right to expect big numbers. Asia Pacific is, well, it's really the powerhouse in this market globally. It was valued at over $49.5 billion back in 2021, and it's forecast to surge to over $136 billion by 2033.
Wow, over $136 billion.
And get this, it boasts the strongest regional CAGR of all, nearly 8.8%.
Almost 9% growth per year for the whole region. Incredible.
China, of course, leads the charge in absolute terms, projected to hit over $41 billion. Just the sheer scale of its urban development, those mega city expansions.
Yeah, understandable.
But here's maybe the most surprising figure in the report, or at least the most eye-catching growth rate. India. India started from around $6.6 billion in 2021. It's projected to reach over $20 billion by 2033. That represents the highest individual country CAGR we found in the sources. A stunning 9.7%.
9.7% annually. For India, that's explosive.
It really is. It points to incredible demand. Think about the burgeoning middle class, the rapid urbanization, that massive pipeline of infrastructure and commercial projects. It all fuels demand for modern building envelopes.
Absolutely. Any other hotspots in Asia Pacific?
Definitely. Singapore is another one showing tremendous growth, over 9.1% CAGR, which often seems linked to their, pioneering smart city initiatives. They're really pushing high-tech, integrated building solutions.
India's growth rate is really the headline there, though. Nearly 10% annually. Wow. Okay, moving southward, let's look at South America. What's the picture there?
South America shows very respectable growth. The regional market was around $12.1 billion in 2021. It's forecasted to hit over $31 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of about 8.2%.
So growing faster than North America or Europe, actually.
On average, yes. Brazil is the biggest player there, as you might guess. It's projected to reach over $12.6 billion. That reflects its position as the region's largest economy, with lots of commercial and residential construction happening.
And elsewhere in South America.
Argentina also shows pretty strong growth, nearly 8.7% CAGR, climbing towards $6.2 billion. That could be down to maybe a catch-up in infrastructure spending, new commercial developments, or perhaps specific government investments in urban renewal.
Okay, interesting. Now, how about the Middle East, a region famous for, well, some pretty ambitious, often iconic architectural statements?
Yes, and that ambition is reflected in the numbers. The Middle East facade market reached nearly $7.85 billion in 2021. It's set to expand to just over $20 billion by 2033. That's an 8.14% CAGR.
Solid growth again. Who are the main drivers there?
Saudi Arabia and Turkey are significant players. Saudi Arabia is projected to reach over $5.7 billion. A lot of that is undoubtedly fueled by its Vision 2030 mega projects. Things like NEOM, these massive new city developments that just demand cutting-edge facade tech.
Right, those projects are on a huge scale.
They really are. Turkey's also growing strongly, nearly 8.5% CAGR. And the UAE is also fascinating, showing a very strong 9.01% CAGR. Expected to hit almost $2.8 billion.
Over 9% for the UAE. Why so high there?
It seems largely driven by their continuous investment in high-end construction. Commercial towers, luxury hospitality, high-rise residential. These buildings often feature really complex, high-performance facades. Visually striking, too, and importantly, designed specifically for that challenging desert climate.
That makes a lot of sense, given the kind of statement architecture we see coming out of places like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Okay, let's complete our world tour. Africa. What's the outlook for facade systems there?
Africa's market, while starting from a smaller base, almost $7 billion in 2021, is expected to grow quite significantly. The projection is over $17.5 billion by 2033. That's a CAGR of about 7.5%.
So growing roughly in line with North America.
Pretty much, yeah. South Africa is the largest market within the continent, projected to reach over $7.2 billion. Which reflects its, more developed infrastructure and established commercial hubs compared to some other parts of the continent.
And other key countries.
Nigeria also shows robust growth, around 7.79% CAGR. It's a major contributor to the regional figures. Think about its huge population, the growing demand for modern housing and commercial spaces. It all adds up. And really, this growth across Africa is indicative of that broader trend we see increasing urbanization and economic development happening in various nations.
Okay, so we've circled the globe. Let's try and bring it all together. The core takeaway from this deep dive seems incredibly clear, doesn't it? This global facade systems market is just experiencing phenomenal growth, more than doubling in value between 2021 and 2033. Exponential is probably the right word.
Absolutely. It's truly exponential. And while that global average CAGR is strong, around 7.9%, we've seen some real regional hotspots. Asia-Pacific leading the pack in regional growth at almost 8.8% CAGR. And within that, India. Well, India's growth is just off the charts at 9.7% CAGR, really driven by that sheer scale and speed of urbanization.
And it's not just the percentage growth rates either.
Exactly. You look at markets like North America, maybe not the fastest growing percentage-wise, but the sheer value is immense, projected to be nearly $168.5 billion by 2033. That underscores the massive volume of high-value, high-performance construction happening there.
So thinking about this, what does it all mean for you, our listener?
Well, it's a really powerful insight, isn't it, into global construction trends, the sheer speed of urbanization that's reshaping our world, and how the very buildings around us are evolving fundamentally. These numbers, They aren't just abstract figures. They represent huge investments. Investments in making buildings more sustainable, more energy efficient, and, well, architecturally innovative too.
And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? It raises a key question, I think. Given these absolutely massive investments globally in just the outer skin of our buildings, what specific innovations are driving this? Is it new materials? Is it smart technology integration, different construction techniques? Or maybe is this explosive growth itself driving the need for those innovations? It's probably a bit of both. That's a great question to leave people with, something to definitely ponder. Maybe next time you walk past a brand new skyscraper, or even just a modernized office block or a revamped shopfront, think about that outer layer. The story of our evolving cities isn't just about how tall they get, it's also told in the sophisticated skin they wear. And right now, that's a story of incredible worldwide expansion. Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're diving into something that literally shapes our urban landscapes and intimately affects how we live and work. The world of facade systems. Imagine a city skyline, say 20 years from now. What makes those buildings truly stand out, perform efficiently, maybe even feel alive? Well, it all begins with understanding these sophisticated skins. Our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the key dynamics of this market, what's propelling its growth, what challenges it faces, and, where it's headed. All of our insights today are drawn from exclusive data and analysis from cognitive market research. So you're getting the most important nuggets of knowledge.
That's absolutely right. Facade systems are far more than just the outer layer of a building. They're really becoming intelligent, responsive organisms. They're transforming architecture and construction as we know it. In this deep dive, we're going to explore how these systems are evolving, helping you gain a complete picture of their impact on our built environment, without the information overload.
Okay, with that incredible complexity in mind, let's pull back the curtain. Let's really unpack what's fueling this industry's explosive growth. What are the big drivers behind the global facade systems market?
Well, if we consider the evolution of our cities, one of the primary drivers is clearly aesthetic appeal and architectural innovation. What's truly fascinating here is how the demand for a unique visual identity is redefining modern architecture. It's pushing for advanced materials, creative designs, things that transform the facade from just a simple barrier into an integral, almost interactive element of the building's presence. Think of iconic buildings around the world. Their facades are often their defining characteristic, right? Making them not just structures, but symbols.
So it's not just about looking good then. It sounds like facades are becoming brand statements, influencing everything from tenant attraction to maybe even a city's global image.
Absolutely. And connecting this to the bigger picture, a huge driver is sustainable development and energy efficiency. Facades are increasingly recognized as powerful tools to make buildings greener, more efficient. We're seeing high demand for systems with dynamic shading, meaning facades can automatically adjust their opacity or angle, to block harsh sun, alongside advanced thermal insulation and energy-efficient glazing that minimizes heat transfer.
Okay, so these elements radically help regulate indoor temperatures.
Exactly. They significantly reduce dependency on traditional HVAC systems, cut down carbon emissions, and make buildings both environmentally friendly and cost-efficient over their lifespan.
And speaking of pushing boundaries, let's talk about the real game changer here, technology. What kind of cutting-edge tech is literally woven into these building skins now?
That's a critical point. Yeah, we're witnessing the integration of smart sensors, actuators.
Starters are the moving parts, right? Like louvers adjusting themselves.
Precisely. Those mechanical parts that make things move. And sophisticated automation systems embedded directly into facades. This allows for real-time monitoring and control. Lighting, ventilation, temperature. It directly enhances occupant comfort and energy performance. These intelligent systems are creating a kind of feedback loop where buildings are just reacting, but learning and optimizing their performance in real time. It's ushering in an era of truly adaptive architecture. So these buildings are basically becoming giant intelligent organisms. That's amazing. It really is. And finally, we can't forget government regulations and green certifications. They're playing a pivotal role. Strict sustainability codes like lead and BREEAM, they aren't just suggestions anymore. They're driving builders to specifically opt for eco-friendly facade solutions that meet these evolving frameworks. It's a powerful incentive, really reshaping the entire industry.
Okay, so the market's clearly dynamic, it's innovative, deeply committed to green initiatives, sounds great, but, no industry is without its friction points, its speed bumps. What are the notable restraints that need to be addressed? What are the biggest hurdles to widespread adoption?
Yeah, that's fair. One of the primary challenges for sure is the high initial investment cost. Modern facade systems, things like advanced glass skins, complex curtain walls, they require sophisticated engineering, premium materials, highly skilled labor. This makes them quite expensive up front, especially for budget-sensitive projects where traditional building methods might seem more appealing initially.
Ah, so the long-term benefits might not always outweigh that immediate sticker shock for some developers. Is that the idea?
Exactly, that's often the perception, yeah. Then there's the inherent complexity. Installation and, importantly, ongoing maintenance. These are sophisticated systems. They demand specialized expertise that can complicate construction schedules and, well, significantly increase lifecycle costs if it's not managed effectively.
Right, adds another layer of complexity.
Definitely. And a crucial point to consider also revolves around regulatory and compliance challenges. Building codes differ wildly across regions, and they're constantly evolving. This creates significant difficulties in just staying compliant, often resulting in project delays, additional expenditures, as developers navigate this patchwork of
A
requirements.
moving target, essentially.
Pretty much. And as we've seen globally, supply chain disruptions, we can't forget those. Shortages of raw materials, skilled labor issues, logistical delays that can severely affect project timelines and overall costs.
Wow. Okay, it's clear this market is incredibly intricate, so many moving parts. But with all these challenges, where does the path forward lead? What are the groundbreaking trends? The things poised to redefine our urban environments, shaping the skylines we'll see next.
Well, the market is witnessing a strong movement toward truly smart and responsive building skins. That's a big one. This includes integrating advanced solar panels, kinetic facades that adjust to sunlight.
Kinetic facades, like picture a building that literally opens and closes like a flower, responding to the sun.
Something like that, yeah. Dynamically responding to the sun's path. And materials that react intelligently to environmental conditions. It's all becoming much more mainstream than you might think.
So buildings that breathe, essentially. That's remarkable.
Indeed. Another significant trend is modular and prefabricated facades. This approach helps reduce on-site labor, speeds up construction timelines dramatically, and ensures consistent quality, which is crucial for efficient and reliable building.
Makes sense. Factory precision brought to the building site.
Exactly. And in alignment with sustainability goals, the use of eco-friendly and recyclable materials is really taking off. Things like biocladding, maybe using plant-based composites alongside fiber cement, aluminum composites.
Yeah.
It's rapidly on the rise. This is directly driven by circular economy principles,
Yeah.
aiming to minimize waste and maximize material reuse. Ultimately, cities around the world are reshaping their skylines with structures that not only look impressive, but also perform efficiently and sustainably. They're becoming active participants in their environment.
We've truly explored the complexities of the facade systems market today, uncovering the drivers, pushing it forward, the challenges it faces, and the exciting trends defining its future. It's amazing to think about how these skins of buildings are so much more than just pretty faces. They're energy managers, comfort regulators, aesthetic statements, all at once.
Absolutely. And as we connect this to the broader picture, it's clear that as buildings become smarter, greener, more responsive, facade technologies will continue to play a central, really transformative role in how our urban landscapes evolve. It raises an intriguing question for you, the listener, to consider. How might your own city's skyline be transformed by these innovations in the coming years? And what might that mean for how we interact with our built environment? It's something to think about.